Welcome to the legend that is the Volvo EV544. Legend?
Yes, I'm afraid it's true, and I'm really sorry. After 13 years of making Wheeler Dealers, I'm now going to be leaving the show.
People started to whisper. Then those whispers slowly turned into big questions. What really happened between Edd China and Wheeler Dealers? Fans were shocked and confused when Edd, the tall and clever man who worked on all those cars, suddenly left the show. Some thought it was just because they didn't agree on how things were done, but others started to wonder if there was more going on behind the scenes. Was there a problem between Edd and Mike Brewer? The polite words in public didn't tell the full story. Join us in this video as we discuss what really happened. The real scuffle between Edd China and Wheeler Dealers. For many years, Wheeler Dealers has been a popular automotive show. In 2003, it made its television debut. There were two main characters in the show. Mike Brewer was one of them. He was the one who would locate and purchase automobiles. He would search for old cars in need of repair. He would next attempt to buy them at a cheap cost. The person in question was Edd China. The mechanic was him. The cars would be repaired by him. He would spend hours in the garage repairing parts, working on engines, and making the look and performance of the cars better. The two of them worked well together. Mike would handle the deals. Edd would do the fixing. A lot of people really enjoyed watching how they made cars better. For many fans of the show, Edd China was a big reason they watched. People liked how calm he was. They liked how smart he was about fixing things. They liked how he would explain what he was doing. He didn't just fix the cars. He taught people how things worked. He made things easy to understand. People felt like they were learning something every time they watched him. His part of the show was not fast. It was slow and careful, but that's what made it good. He took his time. He showed every step. That's what made him special. But then, something big happened. In the year 2017, Edd China said he was leaving the show. He made a video and told people about it. It was a surprise. A lot of people were shocked. They didn't expect him to leave. They didn't want him to leave. Fans were sad. They asked, why would Edd leave the show? He had been on it for so long. He was such a big part of it. But Edd had his reasons. He said he didn't agree with the way the show was changing. The producers, who were creating the show, wanted to approach things in a different way. Their goal was to shorten the show. Less time spent in the garage was what they want. They requested more time to demonstrate the purchasing and selling process. Edd, however, didn't like that notion. According to Edd, the most crucial aspect of the show was the fixing. He believed that removing or cutting it would detract from the particular qualities of the show. He didn't want the show to be just focused on making money. He didn't want it to lose the teaching part. He didn't want to just rush through the repairs. He thought that if the show stopped showing the hard work and the details, it wouldn't be the same anymore. He didn't want to be part of something that was going to be less good. So, he made a hard choice. He chose to leave. He said it wasn't easy, but he wanted to do what he believed was right. Even though Edd China gave a clear explanation for his departure, many fans couldn't shake the feeling that there was something more behind his decision. Some questioned whether there were more serious problems at hand, ones that Edd might not have felt comfortable disclosing completely, given the abrupt change in the show's purpose and the intimate nature of his decision. But what happened to Mike, the program, and the viewers who felt that something was missing after Edd made the difficult decision to leave? Stay tuned for more. What happened to Wheeler Dealers? After Edd left the garage. After Edd left, Mike Brewer kept doing the show. Mike talked about Edd's decision. He said he didn't want Edd to go. He said he didn't make the changes. It wasn't his choice. It was the people who made the show, the producers. Mike claimed he made an effort to maintain the status quo. However, he was not in charge of everything. Even though he tried to explain, a lot of supporters were really offended. Some supporters became so enraged that they began disparaging Mike. He received nasty responses from some people. His wife even received messages from several of them. It became quite nasty. According to Mike, It was painful. It filled him with fear and sadness. It was difficult for his family, he said. Edd noticed what was going on. He didn't want Mike to get hurt. He didn't want people to blame Mike. So, he told fans to stop. He said it wasn't Mike's fault. He said that Mike was not the person making the big changes. Edd asked everyone to show kindness. They shouldn't be harsh, he said, but they could be sad. Even though they were no longer working together, that showed Edd's worry for Mike. The show brought a new character after Edd left. Ant Anstead was his name. He took over as the mechanic. On the cars, he partnered with Mike. Ant was liked by some fans. They found him smart and funny. However, Edd was missed by others. They said the show felt different. They said it wasn't the same without Edd's slow and careful way of fixing things. They missed how Edd explained every little part. They missed how he took his time. With Ant, the show moved faster. There wasn't as much time spent in the garage. It was more about buying the car and selling it later. That made some fans unhappy. They felt like the heart of the show was gone. Edd didn't stop working on cars after he left. He started his own YouTube channel. He made videos where he fixed cars just like before. He called it Garage Revival and other names. He had full control over what he showed. He could go slow. He could take his time. He could explain everything. Fans loved it. They said, "This is what we missed." They were happy to see him again. Edd showed that he still loved fixing cars. He still wanted to teach people, and he could still make great content. All of this showed just how much people cared about the show. It also showed how much they cared about Edd China. Fans weren't just watching for fun. They really cared about the people on the screen. They felt like they were learning something real. They didn't just want to see someone buy and sell a car. They wanted to see how things worked. They wanted to understand what went into fixing a car. Edd gave them that. And when it was taken away, they felt like something was missing. Even though it's been years since Edd left Wheeler Dealers, people still talk about it. They still remember. It was a big moment. It changed the show. It made people think about what makes a good show. Is it just fast fun, or is it something deeper? For many fans, Edd's part was the deeper part. To add to this, his choice to quit, regardless of the hardship, shows his worry for doing things well. Many fans were left thinking what would happen to Wheeler Dealers after Edd China decided to leave the show. Without him, would the magic still exist? And who was going to fill the large space he left? Let's take a closer look. The road to Wheeler Dealers and the rise of Ant Anstead. Edd China made a very big decision when he chose to leave the popular car show Wheeler Dealers. It wasn't something small or easy. It was the kind of decision that took people by surprise. Wheeler Dealers had always been something a little different from other car shows. Unlike most of those shows that had regular workshops and stayed in one place, Wheeler Dealers was known for being fresh and different. It had this interesting idea where the team would travel around, looking for really old, run-down cars. These were cars that had clearly seen better days, cars that most people wouldn't even look at twice. But the team would bring them back to life, turning them into something special again. That made the show feel exciting and new for the people watching at home. When Edd China left, it opened the door for someone new to come in. That someone was Ant Anstead. He joined the show in 2017, right when it moved from the United Kingdom all the way to sunny California. Moving the whole show to another country was a big deal, and bringing in a brand new face like Ant made it even more of a major change. But Ant settled in quickly. People really liked him. He didn't take long to become a favorite with the fans. Everyone who watched the show regularly knows that Ant was there from season 14 all the way through season 16. But what a lot of people might not know is what happened to him after that. What did he do? Where did he go? Those questions came up a lot. Before we look at what happened after the show, it's important to understand who Ant really was before he became a TV personality. Ant's story is actually full of surprises. Most people wouldn't guess it, but Ant was once part of a firearms team. Yes, that's right. He worked in law enforcement. Not only that, but he was also one of the youngest armed officers in the whole country. That's a big accomplishment. He served as a police officer for 6 years. And during that time, he was awarded 2 commendations. Those were official awards for bravery. That means he did some very brave things while working as a police officer. But that's not the end of Ant's background. There's more. He also had another side to him, a more athletic side. He played semi-professional football for 17 years. That's almost 2 full decades. He played in about 700 matches during that time. That shows a lot of dedication. Playing that many games takes a lot of energy, discipline, and love for the sport. So even before Ant was known on TV, he had already done quite a lot with his life. He was someone with a wide range of talents and interests. As time went on, Ant began to follow his true passion, restoring things. He was really good at fixing things up and making them look new again. And that passion got him noticed. TV producers began to take an interest in him. They could see that he had something special. Not just the skills to restore cars, but also the kind of personality that works well on camera. He started appearing on different shows, and that's how he eventually ended up on Wheeler Dealers. When he got the offer to join the show, it wasn't an easy yes. It meant moving his entire life to California. That's a huge move, not just across town, but across the world. At the same time, Ant was going through a divorce from his first wife. Those 2 things happening at once must have made it even harder. After Ant Anstead made the tough decision to leave Wheeler Dealers, fans were left with a mix of emotions, curious about what pushed him to walk away, and wondering what would come next in his personal and professional life. So, what really happened after Ant stepped away from the spotlight of the show? Keep watching to find out. Departure, heartbreak, and new roads ahead. While Ant was on Wheeler Dealers, he was very popular. Viewers really liked the way he worked and how he got along with Mike Brewer, the main star of the show. Their friendship on screen felt real. They had great chemistry, and fans loved watching them work together. That's why it came as such a shock when people found out that Ant was leaving the show after only 3 seasons. He made the announcement through Instagram, where he explained the reason behind his decision. He said that the show was moving back to the UK for its 17th season. A lot of fans had been hoping for that, but Ant wasn't ready to move again. He didn't want to uproot his life for a second time. So instead of joining the show for another move, he decided to step away. He also mentioned that Mark Elvis Priestley would be taking over his role. If you think about it, Ant's situation when he left the show was very similar to when he first joined it. Back then, he had to move to California. This time, he was being asked to move again, but he chose not to. It's kind of like things had come full circle, just in reverse. When he moved to California, he had started a new chapter in his personal life too. He began dating another TV star, Christina Hall. The 2 of them eventually got married in 2018, and they even had a baby boy together. His name is Hudson. For a while, everything seemed to be going well, but just like many things in life, it didn't last forever. In 2020, Christina posted on Instagram that they were separating. Fans were caught off guard. Ant didn't say much at first, and some people could tell he was having a hard time with it. Even though Christina had announced the split, it took about 9 months before it was officially finalized. That period in between must have been really difficult. Around the same time, Wheeler Dealers was getting ready to head back to the UK. But unlike before, Ant didn't follow the show. He stayed in California, mostly because of his son. He didn't want to leave Hudson behind. That decision showed how committed he was to being a father, even when other parts of his life were falling apart. After the divorce, Ant had a rough time. He was being criticized a lot. People were saying things about him online and in the media. On top of all that, he was feeling emotional pain from everything that was going on. He later talked about how it affected his sleep and his eating. He was clearly under a lot of stress. He did say, though, that being around his son helped him keep going. Hudson was like his anchor during a very stormy time. Once the show was behind him, and after all the personal changes, Ant decided to take a break. He needed time to heal, both mentally and emotionally. He stepped away from the spotlight for a while to focus on his family and his well-being. But even during that time, he wasn't completely out of work. he started getting offers for new shows and new projects. Some of the projects he worked on included World's Greatest Cars and Celebrity IOU Joyride. There were also some other shows that hadn't been announced yet. Even with all the ups and downs, moving, divorce, leaving a hit show, one thing stayed strong: Ant's friendship with Mike Brewer. They've managed to keep that bond going. Fans are happy to see that, and a lot of people are hoping Ant will keep showing up on more car-related TV shows. His charm, skill, and real-life experiences make him a unique figure in the world of restoration shows. Many fans were left thinking about what would happen to Edd China once the known Wheeler Dealer's garage was shut down. Was he going to blend in with the background, or was he planning something really different and exciting? To learn more, keep watching. The beginning of a very creative partnership, RWC, which is widely known around the world as the top company in push-fit technology and water control valves, became an official partner with Edd China's Workshop Diaries. This show aired its very first episode on YouTube on Friday, the 2nd of April, in the year 2021. It was a big moment for fans of mechanics and car restoration because Edd China, the well-known and much-loved mechanical expert who used to be the face of Wheeler Dealers, was finally back. He returned with a brand new weekly show on YouTube. The show gave everyone a close-up look into his workshop, which is located near Marlow in the UK. This new series followed all sorts of fun and interesting projects. These weren't just limited to old cars. No, there were all kinds of machines and vehicles. The show included work on classic cars, of course, but also explored things like amphibious vehicles, tractors, bikes, and even airplanes. Edd used the show as a way to dive into all sorts of technologies, both from the past and the present. He wasn't just fixing things, he was exploring the tools, systems, and methods behind how things work. To help support all of this, RWC didn't just sign on as a sponsor. They actually helped make the workshop better. One of the big ways they did this was by fitting out Edd's entire workshop with something called the SharkBite Compressed Air Ring Main System. That was a big upgrade. On top of that, RWC, along with its group of well-known brands like John Guest, JG Speedfit, Reliance Valves, and SharkBite, offered something very special to the show. They brought push-fit innovation and their technical knowledge, which really helped bring Edd's creative projects to life. When asked about this exciting partnership, Edd China had some very kind words to say. He mentioned that just like he and his Workshop Diaries team come to work every day ready to think of new ideas, so do the employees at RWC. According to him, both teams focus on making things work better, making things safer, and making sure what they do is good for the environment too. Edd said he was really happy to have RWC and its brands as official infrastructure partners. He called them the Workshop Diaries official infrastructure partner for push-fit innovation. From RWC's side, Ant Anstead, who is the Director of Engineering Design, also shared his thoughts. He said they were just as excited to be working with Workshop Diaries. Glenn said that Edd is the kind of person who is always pushing the boundaries. He's always looking for new ways to try something different and creative. That's something RWC and their customers really admire and relate to. He said that their experts were thrilled to work alongside Edd and his team, and that they couldn't wait to show everyone how push-fit technology could be used in smart, safe, and efficient ways. It is clear to see how Edd China brought his creativity back to life with the Workshop Diaries and forged an exciting partnership with RWC. Did this collaboration continue to grow, or was it just a one-time spark? What new ideas, inventions, or surprises did the next phase of their journey bring to the table? Let's find out. A true partnership that kept on growing. After a whole year of working together in a successful way, RWC, who are still the global leaders in push-fit technology and in water control valves, decided to continue their work with Edd China and his show. They renewed their infrastructure partnership with Workshop Diaries for the year 2023. The most recent episode showing their collaboration was aired on the 23rd of December in the year 2022. That episode was just another sign of how well things were going between Edd and RWC. Edd China, who used to be the presenter on Wheeler Dealers and is considered by many people around the world to be the most popular mechanical expert, has continued to host his very own show every single week. The show airs on YouTube, which means it's easy for people all over the world to watch. Through his show, Edd gives viewers a special peek into what his life looks like in the workshop. And he doesn't just reach people in the UK. His audience includes fans from continental Europe, America, Asia, and many other parts of the world. His reach really is global. Inside each episode of the show, Edd explores both brand new and very old technologies. He does all this from his own personal workshop, which is located near Marlow in Buckinghamshire. He focuses a lot on the real, practical work that he does every day in the shop. Each project he takes on is different and interesting. These include things like setting up his workshop space, working on old classic cars, and trying out ideas with amphibious vehicles, tractors, motorbikes, and even airplanes. The variety keeps the show exciting and fresh. One of the standout moments in the show came in the 59th episode of Workshop Diaries. That episode featured a product called John Guest's JG Polar Clean. In that episode, Edd did something very fun and different. He created a custom bar that looked like a polar bear. It wasn't just for show, though. It was a working bar. Edd used something called tube-in-tube technology, along with JG Polar Clean push-fit connectors, to make it all work. These parts helped create a beer dispensing system that was able to pour extra cold and specially conditioned beer right from the keg straight to the tap. The really cool part? The system didn't need a cellar at all to keep the beer cold. It was simple to install too. The system can be used in all kinds of places, like bars, restaurants, cafes, and hotels. It's known for being easy to use and adaptable. That's why it worked perfectly in this case, where the bar was built inside a life-size 3D polar bear model. It was both fun and functional at the same time. In Edd China's own words, he said that RWC is the perfect partner for their Workshop Diaries adventure. He explained that they've been really lucky to have RWC's support through this journey. Thanks to that support, they've been able to take on more projects and expand the kind of work they can show their audience. Their audience keeps growing, and these exciting projects keep them coming back. Edd even gave a special shout-out to the John Guest Polar Clean product, saying it was especially fun because now they have a polar bear bar in the workshop. He ended by saying a big thank you for that. The whisper of rumor about people not being able to work with Mike Brewer has been growing louder. After all the success, the fame, and the roaring engines on Wheeler Dealers, what really unfolded behind the scenes, and what sparked questions about why no one seems eager to work alongside Mike Brewer? Stay tuned for more. Why people think no one wants to work with Mike Brewer. One of the biggest questions that keeps coming up, especially on fan sites and in car communities, is this: why do some people seem not to want to work with Mike Brewer anymore? This isn't just something small. It's become a pretty big topic among people who watch the show. They've seen co-hosts come and go, and every time someone leaves, fans start wondering what really happened. Was it because of the pressure of being on TV? Was it something going on behind the scenes? Or could it have had something to do with Mike himself? These are the kinds of questions that many people have been thinking about for quite a while now. To understand all this, we have to go back to the beginning, to where Mike Brewer got his start. When he was young, he wasn't just someone who liked cars. He had a real passion for them. He loved everything about cars, from how they looked to how they worked. But he also had a special skill that not everyone has. He was really good at selling cars. He knew how to talk about them, how to show them off, and how to find the right buyer. This talent didn't go unnoticed. It helped him go from trading cars in small ways to becoming someone people in the car world really started to notice. His big break in television didn't come right away. It wasn't something he was planning or chasing after from the start. It sort of happened naturally. His first time on TV was with a show called Driven. On that show, Mike got the chance to share his love for cars with more people. He was able to show off his knowledge and his personality, and audiences liked it. They liked hearing what he had to say and seeing how passionate he was. But while Driven was important, it was Wheeler Dealers that really made him famous. When Wheeler Dealers began, it was something different. It wasn't just another car show, it was about the process of finding old cars, fixing them up, and then selling them for a profit. The idea was simple, but that's part of what made it work. Viewers didn't just see cool cars, they got to follow the whole journey from start to finish. Mike's job was to find the cars and make the deals, and he did it with the same passion and charm that had gotten him noticed in the first place. It made him and the show a hit. Over time, Wheeler Dealers became more and more popular. People from all over the world started watching it. What made it special wasn't just the cars, it was the way the show felt real. You could tell that the people on the show really cared about what they were doing. They weren't just acting for the camera. They were passionate about cars. And that passion came through in every episode. One of the things that helped make the show so great was the co-hosts Mike worked with. Two names stand out the most: Edd China and Ant Anstead. Both of them had their own special talents and ways of doing things. Edd was known for his deep mechanical knowledge and his calm, detailed way of explaining things. Ant brought energy and creativity, along with solid experience in car building. They both connected with fans in their own way and brought something important to the show. But then, both of them left. Mike has said many times that his goal is to keep the show about the cars and the work that goes into restoring them. He wants viewers to enjoy what they see and maybe even learn a thing or two. Even when there's been controversy, he's done his best to keep the focus on what matters: the cars and the craftsmanship, and it seems to be working. So when people say that nobody wants to work with Mike Brewer, it's not really fair. Yes, people have left. Yes, fans have questions. But the show keeps going, people keep watching, and Mike keeps showing up, ready to share his love of cars with anyone who wants to come along for the ride. What do you think about the exit of Edd China from Wheeler Dealers? Share your thoughts in the comments section below. Thank you for watching this video. We hope you found it interesting. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Click the next video shown on your screen to catch up on your favorite celebrity stories. See you there.